Michael, what are your views? How do you think Aherlow will perform?
Yeah, Stevie, look, it's a big game for Aherlow, I suppose, at the weekend. Back playing Munster Championship, 1:15 on Sunday in Fairfield in Dungarvan. A big task. Stradbally, the Premier Intermediate champions down in Waterford, they beat Modeligo in the county final. Now, I suppose strangely enough, they won't be senior next year because they lost out to Rowan Moore in a playoff. So they stay at Premier Intermediate. But some good players on that Stradbally side. Rory Fennell, Danny Weldon, they put up big scores. They had a very good win over Modeligo in the final, 118-36, and they had beaten them by 17 points in the round robin. So a team that are well able to play football. Kind of a fractious affair against Rowan Moore in that relegation promotion playoff. They had a guy sent off and a couple of black cards as well. But look, Arlo, I suppose, brilliant win for them in the county final over near neighbours Galtee Rovers. Barry Grogan coming up with 1-4 of the 1-7 on that day, and I suppose for Aherlow, as we've seen over a number of years, they will probably need to get the best out of Barry Grogan on Sunday if they're to get over the line again. He is their main score getter, and he's the guy they look to for leadership when things are going against him.
He's the most experienced player there, John, isn't he?
Oh yeah, by a long shot, and he proved it, like all through the championship this year, even going back to the first round there against Commercials down in Golden there. When things were a bit tight early on, he came out the field there and he, done the business and pushed on then against Aherlow in the second round, and that sort of qualified them for the playoffs because they were in a three-team group. They came through the quarter-final then, extra time, and the semi-final it took them extra time to get through. So, they were battle-hardened by the time they reached the stadium in Thurles, and there were, 3 points to 1 up after 9 minutes, but then there was very little scoring until coming up to half time, and they got sort of caught napping, I'd say, their defence. They conceded a free on the edge of the D, and a quick decision by Galtee put the ball in over the top, and it ended up in the back of the net. So all of a sudden they were 1-1 to 3 points down at half time, but they had played against the wind in that first half in Thurles, and the second half then was nip and tuck, and the goal came probably around the three-quarter mark from a penalty that Galtee had been on the attack, and they pushed them right back out the field, and Barry Grogan again turned over on the 45, set up Ty Carew, and he went through into the penalty, and Grogan put it away. But, they had to weather the storm late on, and especially after Grogan kicked the last 2 points, the 2 great points now, and the last one that put him 2 up there from a mark out under the stand, really, really class score, at a vital stage, 3 minutes to go, put him 2 up. They weathered that 3 minutes and 4 minutes of injury time, and they didn't concede a score, not concede a free in that time, and that was good, sort of solid, disciplined tackling. Now they needed to do it. They probably learned a good bit from last year where they probably felt they left the championship behind them below in Ardfinnan both days, the drawn game and the replay. But they came back all guns blazing this year, done the business. They go down to Dungarvan, as Mike said, against a sort of a very experienced Stradbally team, because it's only 2017 since Stradbally won their last senior football championship in Waterford. Now they have slipped a bit since, and I think they were involved in that playoff this year. They were actually involved last year as well in the playoff with Rowan Moore.
But John, similar to Tipperary, the quality is not at the highest level, sure it's not.
No, but club football, you see, in Waterford is different. It's like, over the years, the South Tipperary clubs especially would be well known to Waterford clubs, because
they're not too far away from each other.
No, they'll be meeting them in challenge matches and everything, and there's 3 or 4 guys that played with Waterford this year from from Stradbally, with the seniors there during the league and the championship. So they're not there to make up the numbers either, and I think Arlo will be up against it, because when you go into Dungarvan to play a Waterford team, you're definitely going into the Lions den.
Michael, what's your views on that?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't disagree with it. Stradbally have a rich tradition of football in Waterford, and as John said, they won a senior title like 6-7 years ago. So like, there will still be some of those guys knocking around. This isn't a totally new team, but I suppose in the same way that Aherlow have lots of experience throughout their team as well. Barry, who we've already mentioned, Mark Russell in the middle of the field, the Hanleys, and Ty Carew, whose strong running is probably something that we'll need to see a lot of on Sunday for Aherlow. He gets up and down the field, and the Careys as well, Ben and Stephen, isn't it? So we will need to see lots of off the ball running, very disciplined tactics out of Aherlow, as John had said. In that final against Modligo, Stradbally outscored Modligo 1-5 from the 47th minute to the end of the game, and that was ultimately what won the game for them.
So they seem to be finishing out stronger.
They finished very strong. Now they did need the goal, I suppose, to pull away. But 118 was serious scoring. But the fact I say that they conceded 3-6 and the 3 goals shows that there is a weakness in the back of at the back that hopefully Aherlow will be able to exploit. And who better than Barry, I suppose, to orchestrate that kind of exploitation there for Aherlow. But look, down into Dungarvan is going to be tough. The weather, of course, as everything at this time of the year, can slow everything down. But to me, that could suit Aherlow, that they won't be ran around the place. And yeah, look, I think they have a great chance, but certainly are up against it, Stevie.
John, Michael mentioned another name there a few moments ago, Mark Russell. He must be 6'3" or 4".
Yeah, look at, and the 2 points he scored in the county final, like one from the right hand side of the pitch and one from the left there, halfway through the second half. It was a joy to behold. Points that we have seen him scoring when he coming on there with Tipperary during the league there. He's not afraid. I think he had three long distance shots at goals in the stadium that day in the final. 2 of them were on target. He's not afraid. Like a lot of your modern day footballers are afraid to take on the shot like that. Russell isn't afraid, and his percentage is very, very good, very, very good, and he has the confidence to do it. Michal Elligott, he's another guy. He's operating around the 40 there. Jack O'Halloran, these lads, Luby as well.
Yeah, Dermot Loby is a good footballer as well.
Yes, he partners Russell in the middle of the field there. Of course, we have Coscarden still around.
Lawrence, yeah.
Has a lot of football played, but Ben Carey inside and Cathal Dillon. Cathal Dillon now was replaced in the second half in Thurles, after being black-carded just after half time. But he had his business done by then, and he's a fella like whether he'll start or not on Sunday. Will definitely have a huge amount to contribute, some part of the game anyway, But look, they're going into Dungarvan. All we can really go on is last year. Rowan Moore overturned Grange Mochta last year in Bansha at the equivalent stage in it, and that's really the only thing we can go on, Stevie. But look, they'll definitely be up for it, because I think if they get through, they would be playing the Wolf Tones of Shannon in a semi-final. So there's a huge opportunity there for that side of the draw this year to get to a Munster final, Stevie. Look, it won't be for the one to try in anyway.
In conclusion to this interview, Michael, what do Aherlow have to do to come out victorious?
I suppose fine and strong at the back, Stevie, and not concede goals, and if they can do that, they'll go a long way, because I would find it hard to see how any other lot of teams would outscore Barry Grogan. He is the chief score getter for Aherlow. It's the full forward line, I suppose, of Stradbally where they're dangerous. Fennel, Weldon, and I can't think of the free taker's name now, but they got 110 of the 118 in the final. So like that's probably where the scoring power is. So if Aherlow can hold those 3, they'll go a long way. And as I said, I think there's goals to be got in that, and hopefully they can. Aherlow can exploit it. Down in Dungarvan, a good start will be
crucial, won't it?
Really crucial. But look, as we said, a lot of experience in this Aherlow team. I mean, as John said, Stradbally have been kind of up and down. Rowan Moore were the representatives in the intermediate championship last year for Waterford. Stradbally are this year. So look, it's probably a 50-50 game in that I suppose we don't really know too much about Stradbally but there isn't very much between Waterford and Tipperary football at the moment, Stevie, at inter-county level or at club level. So look, it's a 50-50 game. I think Arlo will get over with the experience they have, but it will be a battle.
All right then, thank you indeed, Michael McCarthy and John O'Shea from the Glen of Aherlow.